Ladies and gentlemen, Tommy Robinson has been here in Israel documenting and investigating and doing documentaries about his experience and the truth on the ground and really learning about Israel. I want you guys right now en masse to go subscribe. I realize I never do this because I thought Tommy Robinson had a massive YouTube channel, but I'm only realizing now he only probably got reinstated on YouTube recently. Go subscribe en masse to Tommy Robinson's YouTube channel. Let him know that the Traveling Clat sent you, okay? He's at 527,000 subs. Let's get him up. Let's get him up. Let's get him up, all right? I was under the impression that Tommy had millions of subscribers, and I guess it's because he was deplatformed years ago. He's got to build all that stuff back up right now. So go subscribe and master Tommy Robinson. Let's take a look at this clip of him breaking down after seeing unseen footage of October 7th.
You don't hate him enough. We don't hate him enough. I don't think that anyone understands what the mindset is of Hamas, who Hamas are. I'm about to watch now the tunnels that were found under, is it Shifra Hospital, which is in Gaza. So remember, we always see on the news, and all the accusations are that Israel's bombing hospitals or bombing schools. Hamas, the video I've just watched of Hamas butchering their way through and massacring innocent civilians, and the joy they're getting whilst doing it, those same Hamas fighters are stationed under the hospital. Yeah. So when Israel goes to war to get their people back or to fight this evil jihadi group, then they station themselves under the hospitals. And many of the doctors and many of the survivors and many of the hostages were brought into those hospitals. So many of the doctors are part of the Hamas. When we hear the figures of how many people have died, it's from Hamas. So to understand how they have to fight this war, that's on their border, that's next door. Yeah, that's next door. And the video I've just watched, which I think everyone should have to watch that video. Anyone waving a pro-Palestinian flag, anyone on a demonstration in London, any politician supporting them, anyone that was calling for a ceasefire should have had to watch that video of what this community and what this country and their people had to go through, and actually witness what they went through. Yeah, and everyone should have had to seen that. And the sickest thing is the joy in the people doing it, the joy in celebration, and the calls to Allah whilst they're doing every single second of it. So yeah, and now I'm going to see the tunnels, because the tunnels is a big problem. It's a massive problem because you're not fighting an army that put on a uniform. Yeah, that's not who Israel are fighting. They're fighting a guerrilla warfare army who base themselves inside civilians, inside schools, underground, and that's how they behave. Yeah. So how do you fight them? How do you fight them? And we hear so much. You hear all the accusations of genocide and genocide. More people are killed in Yemen. No one wants to talk about it. No one wants to talk about it. So how many people have been killed in Nigeria now in jihad? This is the same enemy. It's the same enemy that's done this to Israel. It's the same enemy that's doing it in Nigeria. It's the same enemy across the world. Yeah. How do they fight that war? So this is a major point. The tunnels are a major point. So there's an army underground in tunnels under a civilian population. How do you fight them? It's an entire underground network.
And here's Tommy after seeing the footage of October 7th. I know the center that he's at, and there's some footage that hasn't been shown to the public.
You don't hate him enough. We don't hate him enough. I don't think that anyone understands what the mindset is of Hamas, who Hamas are. Yeah. And that it's only an incredibly frustrating thing if you watch that and you understand that they're celebrated in our capital city. And whilst they're celebrated, the police didn't enforce any law against them celebrating. Prescribed terrorist organisations were continually celebrated every single Saturday for a year after that. The next week, in fact, in the first 48 hours, they were out marching in celebration across the West. And you have to see those two young boys, their dad's killed in front of them. The mum then turns up, she's trying to get them. And then it's horrible, man. They go into the kitchen, they're hurt, and the jihadist just standing there, sipping a bottle of Coke. The kid's on the floor, and then the little boy's trying to help the other boy. The other boy's lost his eyesight in one eye, and their little brother's trying to help, the big brother's trying to help him. Yeah. I just don't think that when we hear or you see the news or you see the media, you see the portrayal given. You need to watch those videos, and you need to understand what the people living here in these civilian areas face, because the people just over that fence in the neighbourhood next door, which is what you can see how close it is. There's no big fortified separation. There's just a little fence, and there's a mile. Yeah, and then you understand how those people think. You know the Blackland Theatre. You know Nice. You know the Manchester Arena bombing. You know all the attacks on Westminster Bridge. Do you know all the Al Qaeda attacks? All of these are the same mindset. There's an entire army.
I want to add some commentary to. By the way, again, like I said, go subscribe to Tommy Robinson's YouTube channel. Go watch this video in full. Don't skip around like I did here. This is just. I want to commentate on some points. You know, last night I was in an event with Tommy Robinson, with Apostate Prophet, with Avi Amini, with the whole gang was there, and Apostate Prophet had just been to. AP was just at this place I went to. It was an Israeli intelligence center where they showed you also some unseen footage of October 7th. And I remember seeing the look in his eyes while he was trying to smile and say hello to people. But I remembered I've seen what he's seen that day and the way it sits with you. I mean, I wasn't okay for a couple days after. It really fucked with me. And with Tommy specifically, one, because he's a father. But two, I think the reason why this strikes him so deeply is because he lives around this. Yeah? Do you guys understand that? In Luton, where he's from, the same kind of jihadis that Hamas are a part of are infiltrating his neighborhood. They're infiltrating his city that he grew up in. And I'm not saying that every Muslim in Luton is Hamas. What I'm saying is a lot of Muslims in Luton and a lot of Muslims in the UK are extremely sympathetic of Hamas, extremely sympathetic and pro-Hamas. That doesn't mean they are a part of Hamas. That means that they are okay with the things that they did on the 7th. And that means for Tommy Robinson as a father, he can look at the people in his community around him and say, holy fuck, would these people around me be willing to do what they did to the Jews on October 7th? Would they be willing to attack me like that way? And that's a question that everybody needs to ask themselves. Is what happened in October 7th to the Jews, is it unique to the Jews? Is it just because Israelis are occupiers, ethnic cleansing, white colonizers? Or was a vast majority of the people killed on October 7th Mizrahi Jews, Arab Jews, the same color skin or darker than Palestinians? Sigal Itach in Ethiopia, a beautiful Ethiopian Jewish woman who was massacred on October 7th. Awa Daraushi, an Arab Palestinian paramedic from the south of Israel, a young 23-year-old boy, beautiful guy, went to save people, murdered by Hamas. Bipin Joshi, a brown Nepalese worker, a student. Terence Mtega, a Tanzanian agricultural worker. Is it just because we're white colonizers? Or potentially, could this be something that's coming for all of us? Now, I think that's something that Tommy Robinson has realized. And from personally talking to him to now hearing him speak in person, I know that that's what he believes. I know he makes a connection. He realizes that while October 7th was terrible for the Jews, it's not unique. It's not unique to the Jews. This isn't something that's uniquely reserved for us. Everyone can get a slice of this if we are complacent enough. And that's the real danger. Here's another clip of him meeting with one of the representatives from Zaka on the October 7th memorial site. And God, I wish I was with Tommy here. I know he was planning, he was very busy during that trip. I wanted to show him the sign of Awad Daraushi and tell him the story, but next time.
Things that you cannot imagine, your brain cannot understand. How children, elderly, women, what they went through.
Can you give us any of the details of what the women may have gone through? Or what their bodies showed evidence of?
I personally dealt, and I spoke about it in the Parliament of England. I spoke about it in the UN, about women's rights, about what I personally dealt with. I came into one of the houses and there was a woman. She was naked. She had nails and different objects in her female organs. There were bodies that were cut brutally that we couldn't understand and we couldn't identify if it's a man or a woman. This is not something that you see on a daily basis.
As in they'd chopped the genitalia?
Yes.
They'd done so much damage to the genitalia area you couldn't make out if it was a man or a woman?
Not only that, some of the bodies were chopped to pieces. You couldn't really identify. I'm not talking about houses and places that were hit with grenades. Forget about that situation. I'm talking about coming into a house.
Hand
Yeah, hand grenades.
So you're talking about coming into a hand and butchering someone with your hands.
Exactly. I'm talking about coming into a house of a woman that she's a Holocaust survivor. After going through the Holocaust, surviving and coming to live in Israel, living on a beautiful kibbutz with her grandchildren and family, and then being butchered in her own bed. And when you come into the house, some houses you came in, you saw bullets, you saw different ammunition that was used. Over here, we came into a room. There was a hospital bed. A woman that was connected to machines couldn't even do anything to anyone in her life. And she was laying there butchered with knives, hammers, screwdrivers, things that you cannot understand. This is not a normal situation of brutality. What people went through over here, it's unbelievable. Coming to a field, a beautiful place after a festival, after seeing young generations having the best time of life, dancing in this beautiful place, in a beautiful environment, and then seeing them laying bodies and bodies and bodies all over.
Oz was murdered sanctifying God's name on the Nova Music Festival at the morning, together with his beloved partner, him and his missus, of blessed memory by kill terrorists in a place where they came only to celebrate. So he loved to travel. You're absolutely, that's just look, just young men, but he's here with his missus just having a party to be hunted down. Every one of them. With 3 older siblings, she was a beautiful blonde girl with a huge heart that only could be. Just brings it home when you read about their personalities, doesn't it? In the army, she served in the air defence as a combat soldier. Later, she completed a commander course and took on various instructional roles. For a big post-military trip, she travelled alone. Powerful experience. And so she decided to study eyebrow design and work in the field before pursuing higher education. Tal was a free and happy spirit. These were all just butchered and murdered by jihadists, who were then celebrated on the streets of our capital city week in, week out, and defended. And they're actually defended. There's the deputy leader of the Green Party, the Muslim lads in the UK, called them defence fighters.
Yep.
Defence fighters.
As we were massacred on the morning of October 7th, our people were massacred, we remember watching the immediate celebration of our death. And that's when we realized the Jews were like, yeah, it's all been building up to this. We know. We were under the impression, we knew, but now you've made it completely clear. And I want to make sure every Jew, when I came out starting this week supporting Tommy Robinson, I mean, I've been supporting his work for a couple months now, but when I made a clip on Instagram, I got messages from tons of Jews. How could you? He's far right. He's a racist. I'm like, racist? Racist? He's far right? This is far right? If this is far right to you, what the fuck is far left? If that's far right to you, what the hell is right? What the hell is the middle? If coming and mourning the lives of brown and white and black dead Jews after a music festival, which most of the world has laughed at, Tommy Robinson is not getting paid shit to do this. I know. I asked. I inquired. He came here out of his own fruition, and he's going to suffer for this. The way I said it in the videos before. He is going to suffer for this. All the death threats that I get and other Jews get for being here, just in general, he just received all of them when he goes back to the UK. All of it. What benefit does it add to his life to come and mourn and to read the story? What does it offer to him? This video didn't even do huge numbers. 84,000 views. It's not worth the views. He's not making that much money on the video. He's not getting donor funds for coming to the Nova Music Festival. I promise you that. So what? What fucking benefit does he get? What? Is AIPAC going to start paying him? No. They're not going to pay him because the people who are in the establishment of the Jewish world who relinquish funding, they don't associate with people like Tommy Robinson. They call him far right. The same way they don't associate with me. They don't give me a penny. They don't give me a goddamn shekel. It's only you guys who support us. So I believe in what Tommy's been saying. We are the news now. We are the journalists. We make more and we bring more in than the mainstream media. We educate you guys on the truth. And when we fuck up, if we're wrong, we'll admit it. We'll say it. And I have so much respect for him, man. I have so much respect for him going out of his way to do this work. It really is amazing. Because no, it's not going to give him any benefits to his career. I promise you that. He's not going to get any Jewish funding. He's not going to get any donors for coming to the October 7th massacre, to the Novi Music Festival. He's not going to get more views for it because it's old news. He's not doing any breaking news right now. He's just doing something that's right, that most journalists need to be doing. But they don't want to add that context because it's easier to rage bait about Israel. I'll see you guys in the next one. Support Tommy Robinson's YouTube channel. He's a friend of Israel. He's a friend of ours. I'll see you in the next one. Love you a long time. Goodbye, Klats. Man, these comment sections are insane. What do you mean? Literally every comment is just like making fun of Jewish people, saying some stupid shit like it was promised to them 3,000 years ago, kicked out of 109 countries, white colonizers, and then a bunch of Jews in the comment section getting triggered and calling it anti-Semitism. It's bringing me down. Okay, well, here, take this. What's this? It's a white colonizer shirt from thetravelingclat.com. And here, take a matching hat. Why do you want me to wear this? Because when we laugh in their faces, it triggers them more. Like, for example, my grandparents were kicked out of Baghdad, Iraq. Right. So guess what? I'm yo Baghdadi. Get it? And boom, here's a hat with a kube on it. So you're saying when they make fun of us, just wear it? Precisely. What will trigger the stupid pro-pallies more than you proudly joining the 109 club for being kicked out of 109 countries? Or are you openly embracing being a white colonizer? Or even just acknowledging that everything was promised to you 3,000 years ago? Don't run from it. Embrace it. Bet. TheTravelingClat.com. Embrace the meme, embrace the Jew hatred, and laugh in their face. TheTravelingClat.com. If you don't want to buy any merchandise, the best way to support me is by donating on Buy Me a Coffee, my PayPal, or becoming a member on my Patreon. Your support is very much needed and very much appreciated. Thank you.